Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into Booklights today. You are in for such a treat because we have a historical fiction author on today named Tong. And if you have not read her book yet, The House Filler, you are in for a treat. If you haven't read her before, I'll read her bio here so you can get to know her. Tong was born and raised in China and moved to Canada in 1988. She began writing the China trilogy in 2004, although she was challenged by learning to write in English and by her long-term disability. She persevered and since 2012 has published poetry and prose in both English and Chinese in publications such as Prism, Rice Paper, Flow, Canadian Stories, and The Polyglot. Her new book, The House Filler, won an Independent Press Award for Best New Fiction. She lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm so excited for you to meet her. Are you there?
Yes.
Good. It's great to hear from you today. And can you tell everybody about The House Filler? Why should they go and grab it this week? What was your inspiration?
For sure. Just one update about this book. It is now a finalist for 2024 Canadian Book Club Awards.
Wow, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, the winners will be announced in January of 2025.
Okay, well, we'll be sending good vibes for your book. Congratulations.
Yeah. This book is based on my grandmother's story. The protagonist's name is Golden Phoenix. So the book follows her journey from 1920 to 1966. Golden Phoenix was, sorry.
It's okay.
Golden Phoenix was born at the time that the beauty of a woman is not measured by her looks, but by the size of her feet. So the tinier the feet, the more desirable these women were. Therefore, Chinese parents bound their daughter's feet at age 4 or 5. Golden Phoenix, being a motherless child, her father delayed her foot bending process until she was 6. So her feet was not the ideal size of 3 cun golden water lily size. 3 Chinese cun is about 4 inches long.
Wow.
Yeah. Therefore, she missed her ideal marriage age, which was between 16 and 18. Another reason she missed her ideal marriage age was she was trained as a seamstress and became a breadwinner for the family. So her father kept her too long until she was 26. And she had no choice but to marry a widower who was 20 years older than her. In China, in the old time, when a woman marries a widower, she's called the house filler.
Oh, okay.
So that's the title.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the book follows her journey through wars and political upheaving and poverty. So she struggles to keep her family safe and together and struggle to survive. It's a very long story. It's complex and also touching and moving and sad. But it's original and unique because the readers said they have never read something like this.
Well, the time period was really interesting. I was reading the blurb and I thought, because that's not a time period for me anyway that I know that much about from China. And I wanted to ask you too, was it common for women to work and be breadwinners back then?
No, it was not common at all.
Oh, okay.
Because her 2 brothers were sent to Shanghai by her father. So she was the only child remained. And she had to work. Because her father couldn't really earn a living for 2 of them. So, and also she was a very good seamstress. And because she's not just making clothes for ordinary people, she advanced to making costumes for opera companies, for opera singers. So yeah, so that's how she established herself. But after marriage, she started to suffer in the hand of her in-laws. But then, her husband passed away. She couldn't feed her 5 children. She had to send 2 of her twins to the Red Army when they were only 16 years old.
Oh.
And she was also suffering from the stepson. The stepson was the illegitimate son from her husband. So the son tried to inherit all his father's estate, but once the baby boys were born, he wouldn't have the estate to inherit. So then he tried everything to harm the babies and makes her life miserable.
Wow. Well, how much of your grandmother is in Golden Phoenix? How much of your family is in this story, or did you fictionalize all of it?
I would say 90%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So your grandmother was a seamstress for the opera?
Yeah.
Wow. Did she go to Canada with you, or?
No, she passed away when I was only 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, okay.
So
do you
the
have
story,
memories of her?
Yeah, I remember. I remember when I visited her when she was bedridden, because she paralyzed for 8 years before she passed away.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get her stories? Was it from your parents?
From my mother.
Your mother. Okay.
Yeah. And I talk with other family members and verify her story. And so it's largely based on real life events. I only fictionalized the details and did some characters consolidation.
Mm-hmm.
And for some historical events, I did my research. And it's quite amazing because with internet, I bought the copies of newspapers published at the time.
Wow.
Some parts of the book was directly from the stories in the newspaper. And thanks to the internet, otherwise I don't know how I'm going to get them.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
did you said I thought I read somewhere that this is going to be a trilogy, right?
Yeah. So the first story is focused on my grandmother.
Right.
The second book is focused on my parents, mainly my mother. And the third one is a story of myself before I came to Canada.
How old were you when you came to Canada?
I was 26.
Okay. Did you speak English at all, or did you learn?
I did, because I came as an international student.
Okay.
I was admitted by a graduate school, so I had to pass the exam for foreign students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but still, my language skill is far from writing a fiction. So this is a long struggle.
Yes. Oh, I bet. I was going to ask you too about your writing process. Did you write it in Chinese first and then translate it, or how did that go for you? I would think that would be really difficult.
It is extremely difficult. I first started in 2004 writing in Chinese, and used the form of a series letters from one sister to another sister.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I couldn't continue for 2 reasons. One, I realized that if I write in Chinese, I couldn't get any help, like editor,
Right.
critique groups and beta readers and the publisher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second, I suffered repetitive strain injury on my both arms at the time.
Oh my gosh.
So typing was extremely hard for me. Way back when we didn't have dictation, right? You have to type every word.
Right.
And I was on disability, but after writing about 16 or 17 letters, I had to stop. My hands couldn't take it anymore. And I waited until 2006, and then I started to take creative writing courses, because
Mm-hmm.
I need to learn, right?
Right. Right.
My background has nothing to do with creative writing. Yeah. So
Well,
it was a very
when
long process. Yeah.
when you took those classes and they were talking about, past tense and present tense, and do they have that in Chinese language too? Or were you learning everything?
I was learning everything. I'm so
Wow.
glad you asked the question, because in Chinese language, we only have one tense. We only have present tense.
Okay.
So if we want to say something like she go to school, tomorrow she go she will go to school tomorrow, we say she go to school tomorrow, or she go to school yesterday. And also our verb doesn't change with the subject. So it's like I do, you do, he do, not he does. And also the preposition is very difficult for me or for us, because like these words is not, there's no logic, right?
Right.
If you try to use logic, then you get it wrong. It doesn't work.
It's true. The English language is hard for English speakers.
Yeah. So
how come read is spelled the same as read?
Exactly. Yeah. Like why knife is not pronounced as knife? Right?
Exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's amazing that you learned all of that. That must have been an uphill battle. So tell me about, if your background wasn't writing, what was the passion behind getting this story out? Because you worked really hard to get this done.
Yeah, I think because my family story is a represent lots of Chinese family, what they have gone through, what they have experienced, and I felt like the world needs to know.
Yeah.
I think when you are happy, like if let's say your life is a smooth sailing and you have it all, I don't think it's touch people's heart. I think the suffering, vulnerability is bring us close, because I think 99% of the population people have gone through that, right? There's very few people they had it out, so to speak.
Right, right. People can relate to the story through the struggle.
Yeah. And also, I believe even though the book is a really sad story, but Golden Phoenix is extremely resilient. And she survived, even though she didn't really realize her lifetime dream of keeping all her children together and safe, but she tried her best, and then next generation will continue her dream, then the one after that. So that's why it's a trilogy. It takes 3 generations to pursue, independence and the freedom and happiness.
I love that. And I was going to ask you too about, in your book, it happens in a time period in China where they were attacked by Japan in World War II, and then there was civil war, and then the communists took over. And that is a lot to pack into one person's life. How do you think that impacted your family as a whole?
Well, I think has impacted generations of Chinese people, right? So the Second Sino-Japanese War was a catastrophe for Chinese people, because at the time the military force, like between Japan and China was so weak. At the beginning, China couldn't resist much. One example, at that time, Japan has 2,500 fighter jets. China had 250.
Wow.
Right. And also because of the General Zhang Xueliang in northeast China didn't resist when Japanese came in 1931. That's made China even more vulnerable, because Japanese established themselves in Manchuria, like we call northeast 3 provinces, and they had their weaponry manufacture there. They had the coal mine. They have the all kind of like they took China's natural resources to enrich themselves and make themselves stronger, and they have a foothold in China that made them successful in 1937, the large-scale invasion into inner China. Chinese people suffered too much, and also how the communists eventually took over China had something to do with that war, because during the war, the nationalists, they're the official military force to fight Japanese, and the communists they based in Shanbei, that's northern Shanxi, which is never really touched by Japanese forces. So they got stronger.
Right,
80
right,
years. The Civil War followed the Japanese, the Second Sino-Japanese War, but by then, the nationalist armies were too weak. They lost too many soldiers, and they didn't have the finance, they didn't have enough weaponry, and also the inflation went skyrocketed because of the war. When the
right,
national government tried to finance the war, right? So
right.
the inflation we're not talking about 100% or 200%. We're talking about like a 4,000%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, people will get up in the morning. They will run to the store with handbags of money. By the time they got to the store, that bag of money now is already like half. Only can buy half of
Wow.
the same,
Right.
food. So that's also shake the foundation of the nationalist government.
Right. Well, and I think too that when your country as a whole gets afraid,
Yeah.
they push, into, military and I would think that would be ripe for communism to take over and say, we will take care of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like they have done such a bad job, we can do much better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. We know better than all of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that why your family, is your family still in China or did they come to Canada with you?
My mother is in Canada now, but my sister and my other relatives, they are all in China.
Oh, they're all in China. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get to travel there for your book research?
I did. In 2015, I went back to my grandmother's hometown.
Oh, nice.
And met my cousins and niece and nephews, whom I have never met before. Yeah.
How neat. Did they know you were writing this book? Were they excited?
At the time they knew, but they didn't know it's been published.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because one cousin has passed away, and I kind of got like lost the touch with my niece and the other cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they don't know the book's out.
And I don't know if I want them to know.
Oh, okay. It does. People don't know sometimes that for an author, it's very exposing to have a book come out, even when it's fiction.
Yeah.
There's a lot of you in there, and it can be uncomfortable. So I have a lot of writer friends who are like, I don't let my family read my books.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You may not have a family anymore after they read it.
Right, right. Yeah, I still want my family to look at me.
Yeah.
Well, how did your writing journey is very different from most people because you also had to learn the language. So you mentioned you took some writing courses. Did you eventually find a critique group and did you get an agent? What was your journey like?
I started with critique group pretty much right at the same time when I started taking writing courses, and I had to write in English for that reason.
Right.
And they're a tremendous help, but I realized that because of the such a big difference between Chinese language and English,
right?
Even though theoretically I know what should I use, past tense, future tense, but I couldn't do it consistently, and I always making grammatical mistakes all the time. My critique group at beginning, they even try to they correct my grammatical mistakes, but I felt it's too much work for them. It's not fair, and so I hired a freelance editor, copy editor. I'm different from other authors. Usually they finish the whole book, then they get maybe beta readers, critique group, and then structure editor, or we call developmental editor. Then copy editor is the last stage. I started with copy editor and on an installment basis. So every 2 chapters, when I finished every 2 chapters, I sent to her. And after she edited my 2 chapters, then I presented to my critique group. So, but after I finished the book, then I had to hire the manuscript evaluator twice, and structure editor twice, then another round of copy editors because I made so much changes, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so it's not only time consuming, like financially, it's also very expensive.
Yes.
But I felt I didn't have any other choice. I had to go through this.
Right. You wanted this book out. Have you found it easier writing the second book? Do you have a better handle on the language or?
Actually, I wrote the entire book, like all 3 books in one book. So it was a really long book with 240,000 words.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is long.
Generations. Then I couldn't find a publisher. And
Right.
I didn't know why until a mentor of mine said, this is too long for historical or literary fiction. You have to divide into 2 or 3 books. So then I spent a year to separate this one big, huge book into 3. That's how all 3 are written pretty much at the same time.
Okay, so it's already done.
Yeah, it's already done.
When does book 2 come out?
I don't have a date. I'm still looking for a publisher.
Okay. How can people keep in touch with you so that they know when the next book comes out? Do you have a newsletter or are you on social media? Where should they follow you?
I just have my website built. So the address is tong-ge.com.
Okay.
And also I'm on Instagram at writer Tong Ge. And I'm also on like X.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be sure that we add the new website on the show notes for the podcast. So if you are listening, you should be able to find that website down there. And will you have a sign up for your newsletter or something so that people know?
Right now, I haven't. I just started this because social media is new to me. I use it to watch or listening to other stuff, but for myself, it's a learning process. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll have the website on there. Before we run out of time, did you have a favorite scene from the book when you wrote it? Was there a scene where you went, this is why I'm getting this story out?
Wow. That's too many. I would say the thing that when Golden Phoenix son, one of the twins, was wrongly accused as a traitor after we call liberation, which was in 1949 when the communists took over. She and her daughter-in-law went all the way to Chengdu, try to find this old comrade of her son to help. This guy now is a vice minister. So it's pretty like in a
higher up. Yeah,
higher up. And they didn't get any help. This person refused to save them. This person denied that he has never known this person, like Wu, his comrade. I think that is very, and that's in reality, I fictionalize this a little bit. In reality, the communication was done by letters. So this person returned letters that I don't know this person. But
so that happened in real life?
In real life, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So her son was sentenced to death in the beginning. And eventually the sentence was reduced to a lifetime imprisonment.
Wow. So her son was in prison for the rest of his life?
No, after 25 years, they
released him.
They released them. But by then the mother has passed away.
Passed away. Dang.
Yeah.
Well.
So she didn't say her since he was arrested in probably when he was 30 or 31, she has never seen him before. He has never seen him after that.
Wow.
Until she passed away, yeah.
Wow. Well, what do you have a title for the second book?
The second book is called The Painted Bird. The Painted Bird.
The Painted Bird? Okay.
Painted Bird, yeah.
So everyone needs to watch for that one and go to your website so they can find out when it's coming out. And one last question. Who inspires you when who do you like to read that you go, hey, this is, makes you want to go write?
Well, there's so many. I want to be a writer when I was in junior high.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not a particular author, but I just like to read and to tell stories. But I think when I was 7 years old in China, we had something called the Cultural Revolution. So my father was first locked up in a car shed. We call it car shed. Like he was locked up with all his colleagues because he was a university professor. All the professors were locked up. It was like a concentration camp, right?
oh
But
my
when I was 7 years old, he was released, but suspended from work. So he still need to go to political meetings every evening. And he was really good in Chinese literature and history and poetry. So but way back when there's power outage, it happens like 2 or 3 times a week. So when that happened, the meetings were canceled. Then we would draw our window curtains and light a single candle. And he would take this book from a hidden place. This book is called The Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio. It's written by a guy in Qing Dynasty. So it's a short story collections, but it has nearly 500 short stories.
Wow.
Yeah. So he would read this book to my mother and me. And because book was written in ancient or classic Chinese or ancient Chinese, he also had to translate into modern Chinese while reading to us. So I think from that time, I just fall in love with storytelling. And
yeah. And did he have to keep the book hidden for a reason? Was that not?
Because that book was banned. So many books were banned during the Cultural Revolution. And they call it the poisonous weed, right?
Right.
Our house was raided twice by the Red Guards, but I don't know how that book survived the raid.
Wow.
But just a little bit news here. Before this book, like way back when this book was translated into English, but the translator only chose about 160 stories out of nearly 500. Now, this year, 2024, the entire book are translated into English. You can actually find it in Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's called The Strange Stories from a Chinese Studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's called The Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio.
Okay.
So it's a collection of, fantasy and horror, but the author insinuates the real life situation at the time.
Right.
Social injustice and corruption and all that, but he couldn't write it openly. So his stories, yeah.
Right. He had to make them magical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It sure seems like a lot of these cycles are coming back now, right? All the book banning and yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well,
but I would say in the early, like when I was in university or, high school and the college, one writer inspired me so much. He is a Chinese writer. Well, he passed away now. His name is Lu Xun. And he only wrote essays, essays and short stories. But he had a huge influence on me. I wanted to be like him. One of his most famous short stories is translated into English. It's called, I think, The Biology of RQ. That's the English title. So The Biology of RQ. It's a short story, but extremely deep, sharp, biting, and it's influenced the generations of Chinese intellectuals, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for coming on today. And everyone, be sure that you check out her website so that you can find out when book 2, The Painted Bird, comes out, and it will help her get that book published if you run out and grab the house filler. It is available everywhere, and it has a gorgeous cover, and I'm very intrigued, so I can't wait to read it.
One more thing, when you search on Amazon, I found if you just type in the house filler, you don't actually see the book. You see lots of household items.
Oh, of house.
So you need to put the author's name there too.
Yes. Be sure that you put in Tong's name also so that you get the correct book.
Yeah, that's right.
So you don't learn how to fill in your drywall.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks so much for being on today. It was great. And everyone, go grab The House Filler by Tong. And I think it's going to be a fascinating read. I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.